Hello and welcome to the Weekly MTG After Show. I'm your host, Blake Rasmussen, back from break, and I have several special guests with me today. Also, Mike Turian's here too. These are the actual puppets that you might have seen at the beginning of the debut about 20 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. They're hanging out in our office for now. These are the actual things. They're super cool. And they're going to be hanging out with us during the show today. But we are going to spend most of the time revealing some new cards, talking about Lorwyn Eclipsed, and to do most of the talking is the executive producer of Lorwyn Eclipsed, Mike Turian. Mike, how you doing?
Happy New Year, Blake.
Happy New Year.
I'm doing great. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm doing wonderful, especially after seeing so much of Lorwyn Eclipsed shown off today. It's all so beautiful, and I'm excited to be back.
I mean, speaking of back, this is our return to Lorwyn, but it's also your return to Lorwyn because you worked on some of the original Lorwyn sets, correct?
Yeah, pretty amazing. It all comes full circle for me. I worked on the game design for the original Lorwyn set, and then I was the lead game designer for Morningtide, and then I got to do play testing and work on Shadowmoor and Eventide as well.
Yeah.
So, for me, seeing the cards when we're showing off some of those special guests, it's, I always really get to enjoy, like, now we're doing throwbacks and callbacks of cards like, Bitter Blossom, which I got to make in Morningtide. It's pretty cool and amazing that they've been part of Magic's history so long, and now we're creating new amazing versions of and throwbacks and callbacks and.
Did you raise your hand for this set? Were you like, I want to do this one?
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun for me because I've got to work on so many amazing sets, right? Getting to lead like the Lord of the Rings set, and it's working with another partner's property. But Magic, of course, I started playing Magic when I was 14.
Yeah.
I'm older than 14 now, and
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all? And so cards that I'm familiar with and I love, and I helped create. And then also too, I mean, one thing that I think you really see the design teams put a lot of care and effort into is, hey, how do we do a great tribute and do right by what people love about Lorwyn and Shadowmoor and all of those cards, and also we're nearly 20 years, forward in time. Right, and so bringing in mechanics like Behold from a set that it wasn't associated with Lorwyn originally, but it really,
Makes sense. Yeah.
It makes sense, right? And had we had that, I'll say, innovation or thought process, we likely would have maybe done Behold instead of like the Champion mechanic way back when, right? And so you just really get to see how the design has evolved over time, which is super cool and makes for great cards.
Peak with Muldrifter, and it's been, I won't say decline, it's been about on level since then. But we may even see a card that's somewhat reminiscent of Muldrifter today. So let's get into the briefs. We have a ton of cards to talk about today. Most of them are going to be new. A couple of them you may have seen in the debut video, but we wanted to talk about them. But the first one, we're gonna start by talking about some mechanics from the set. Blight is super interesting to me. This card's incredibly interesting to me because, Mike, putting on your designer hat here, it's been a while since we've done a mechanic that has the appearance of a downside, putting -1/-1 counters on your own stuff.
Yeah, and of course in Magic, anything that appears to be a downside often ends up being an upside, right? And you can see that here with Dawnhand Dissident because while you're blading your creatures, right, then you can remove 3 counters, and what do you know? Some of those counters can be -1/-1 counters, and all of a sudden you get a nice boost, right? And so with Blight and with -1/-1 counters, they actually, from a design perspective, they went through this interesting arc. Now, the way they came out, you can put those -1/-1 counters on your creatures and actually even kill them, right? If you decide. I don't think that's what you'd be doing here with Dawnhand Dissident typically.
This card seems like one you want to keep in play.
Yeah, you would definitely want to keep it around. But originally we weren't actually going to let you kill your own creatures with it. There was a rider that prevented you from doing that. We just decided, hey, you know what? If that's how you want to use it. It's like because maybe you have a reanimation card, or maybe you just really need to, make a last-ditch effort, right? You can always trade in the Donhan Dissident to exile a card in desperation, right? Just with itself. But yeah, it's typically you're going to be looking for good combos here. And then also, too, I mean, for those familiar, like, there's a lot of familiarity here with like Deathrite Shaman.
Yep.
Right? And, there's...
It evokes that. I mean, it's not quite the same. It doesn't make mana, but it evokes that feeling. It's a 1-mana 1/2, messes with exiling cards from the graveyard.
Yeah, there are similarities for sure, right? I mean, surveilling, of course, can be very powerful, but right, I mean, of course, a 1-mana accelerant is also very powerful. But I mean, this ability here to cast creatures, that you've exiled, that is some serious business, right?
Well, there's a couple other interesting things about this card I want to call it. One is what Chad is calling out, is this allows you, that third ability, let's not ignore that, that allows you to cast cards you've exiled with this, but it allows you to remove other negative counters as well besides mine, like finality counters.
Yeah,
Stun counters if that comes up. So there's a lot of play here. I also want to call it's an elf.
Yeah, it is an elf, which of course, I mean, as we've been seeing in the previews, right? Lorwyn Eclipsed, creature type matters.
Yeah.
And being an elf is a huge boost. The elves you'll find are in green and black, so this is just a good. What does it look like to be a black elf, right? So an elf warlock here, and there's going to be all sorts of ways to power it up. But yeah, the ability to remove counters of all types, that's what makes Magic so awesome, right?
Yeah.
You can, like, with this one card, you can now go back through your entire collection and say, hey, here's a new commander deck, or here's a counter that is important to remove. Or just, I mean...
break out those giant fans.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And just like you called out, just, remove that stun counter. All of a sudden, that's not something that really typically comes up in limited gameplay all that much, but now all of a sudden it's a new thing. So I'm guessing the Donhan Dissident's probably going to be the one getting stunned. If
Probably. I mean, probably. I mean, you look at something even like Sleep Cursed Fairy, for example, which comes into play with 3 stun counters on it. Are we going to see that? Make a resurgence. I don't know. There's a lot of possibility here. We could talk about this card for a while, but we're going to keep moving on. Our next card is Boggart Mischief. So another Blight card. This one spells out Blight in there, but also having to do with goblins, Mike.
Yeah, so once again, Lorwyn itself had, I'll say, 5 major creature types, and then had 3 supporting creature types. And goblins were one of those major creature types, so here in Lorwyn Eclipsed, it's going to be featured in red and black, and you can see that there, just it makes a black-red goblin creature token. There it is, right there.
I love the art on this token.
I know. Well,
this token's amazing.
One thing that's been great working on the Lorwyn Eclipsed is just, I mean, I mentioned how design has evolved. You really see how our art's always been fantastic in Magic. And once again, nearly 20 years of artists and bringing on such talent, the team really learned a lot from the look of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, and once again, did a great job of staying true to that, but also evolving and pushing it forward. And you see that here with the Goblin token. I know we're going to be looking at Changelings upcoming.
Yep.
The Changelings we've completely overhauled as well. And then the Boggart Mischief itself, really a really straightforward card. It'll help you drain your opponent, which and goblins often have a lot of sacrifice going on, so you'll be triggering that hopefully often.
Well, and again, we also see Kindred here. So Kindred makes a comeback in this set.
Yeah, Kindred is here, and so that's just, once again, when creature type mattering, we want to give away for non-creatures to be able to contribute to that, right? Whether that's when you cast it and you get a trigger of, whenever you cast a goblin, or one of the great things here with Boggart Mischief is being an enchantment, it's going to sit in play, and so it ups your goblin creature count, not creature count,
but yeah,
your goblin
count,
type count as you go. And of course, because it's making some goblins, it really gives you a big boost of goblins in play, just for a few mana.
Well, and this enchantment also plays into what you were talking about earlier about the first version of Blight, which didn't let you kill your creatures. This can come in, Blight a 1/1 goblin to get 2 goblins, and then also trigger on that one that it kills.
Yeah, right, exactly. So, if you cast a second Bogart Mischief, for instance, you can sort of cycle out the first, some of the early goblins, right? And once again, you just see how well it plays, with the card we looked at before with, here's some counters to go and remove.
Yeah.
Right, tons of goodness there.
All right, let's move on from this to Convoke, and our next card, Appeal to Erdu. This one is pretty simple, but how high you taking this in limited, Mike?
It's tricky. Combat tricks in sets that are really creature type heavy are something that you really need to prioritize. One thing that makes it, I think, better than people are going to expect is the fact that with Convoke, you can cast it for very little mana.
Yeah.
Right? And so, right, that is a very powerful effect to be able to, basically be representing nothing, and all of a sudden 2 of your creatures are getting boosted.
And we saw in the debut video that the rare white-blue Merfolk that comes into play untaps all your Merfolk that are attacking. You could then, have 2 mana, turn it into this. I think especially with Merfolk doing a lot of tapping and untapping shenanigans, this could do a lot there.
Yeah, and the fact that it gives 4 additional power really can make a difference. The toughness can be game breaking.
Yeah.
You can both deal some extra damage, and if you easily turn this into winning 2 combats. So there's definitely gameplay, and the fact that once again, you're going to be wanting to have out a lot of creatures means you're just a little bit more likely to get into creature combat. However, on the flip side, that just puts the pressure of you want to get a lot of creatures into your deck.
Let's move on to a slightly more interesting Convoke card that you're going to be seeing across the table from you quite a bit. This is Winnowing. Let's go through this real quick. So it's 6 mana. It's got Convoke, so you're probably not casting it for 6 mana. And then for each player, you choose a creature that player controls. Then each player sacrifices all their creatures they control that don't share a creature type with the chosen creature. Don't choose a changeling. So this is obviously, Mike, a far more interesting use of Convoke here for a specialized Wrath. But I also want to talk about some of these treatments here. We saw a bit of them in the video.
Yep.
Tell us a bit about, the extended frame we see all the time, but tell us a bit about the Japan Showcase in this set.
So the Japan Showcase, and then we're showing the Fracture Foil Japan Showcase. I think the video we saw, it does that nice little dance.
Yep,
so you
the
can
video's always nice. Yep.
You can see that the gleam and the shine. Both the Japan Showcase treatments are collector booster exclusives. And with Lorwyn Eclipsed, in English packs, you'll get these in English. If you open up the Japanese packs, you get them in Japanese.
Okay.
So we it's very straightforward there. We work with, you can see the artist credit, we work with these amazing Japanese artists to really bring alive sort of that anime style that's so popular and so amazing in Japan. And this is just another, of course, that's been a very popular style, but this is just, this idea of collectability. When we were in Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, the collector boosters didn't exist. We didn't have these treatments. And I know we're going to show off and have been showing off the Fable frame.
Right.
That's just another treatment that the team really went and said, hey, what are some of these cards that we can take, and we'll show a standard version, and then we'll amplify and really tap into the resonance of what makes Lorwyn Eclipsed awesome.
All right.
And then back to Winnowing. This is a card that you can really, when you build your deck around this, you can really get your opponent good, right? And basically turn it into a one-sided Wrath.
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, you're not going to be desperate enough to cast this for 6 mana very often.
Yeah.
So you can definitely, use some of those token creatures to help pay for it,
Yep.
and then likely be clearing away for your bigger creatures as well. And I really enjoy wraths that you can put in decks that with creatures, right? That's
Right.
right. So often you're just like, oh, I want to put Wrath of God style cards in my deck, but also I'm putting in creatures too. Here's one that for as many wraths as we have in Magic, it really sits in a novel space.
Well, I mean, there are even, I don't know that an ally deck, for example, would want a Wrath, but if they did ever, this can leave all of their creatures untouched, for example.
Right. And I love, it's one of the things that makes creature types so much fun is, like here, of course, within the world of Lorwyn Eclipsed, you're likely to be using it with Kithkin, elves, merfolk, right, whatnot. But outside of that, right, just like we were talking about with the counters, there's so many different creature types that would really benefit.
Yeah.
You're building a soldier deck, and all of a sudden you're, winning could be a great addition.
All right. Speaking of not targeting changelings with this, changelings are back. We have our next card, Flock Imposter. I love that we've kept the silly vibe for some of these.
The art does, it just cracks me up.
It does, yeah.
Right, yeah. And I love how Flock Imposter is like looking at you like, who me?
Yeah.
Like, no, I
am Bird.
I'm a real bird. I'm
a bird.
I'm bird. Right? It's and then the card itself is doing a lot also. Flash, flying, changeling, those are all really powerful abilities. The fact that if you do just flash it out, you can save another creature of yours, right? Or if if it's been pacified or not by your opponent, you can go and clear that off.
Or evoke.
Yeah,
It works as sort of a pseudo blink. You can evoke something out early, bounce it back, and still get to cast it again later.
yeah, totally true, right? There's so many good combos, and one thing that I think is always so fun about these effects is like you discover them in the moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, of course, there are ones that you plan out, right? But just like as you're going, you're just like, oh, this is the moment. I need to bring out Flock Imposter right here, and you can really get your opponent. And just, straight up a 2/2 flying shapeshifter is a reasonable.
We've had, I think
Yeah.
the original Aven Changeling, I think, was one of the originals. It was just
that without
2/2 flying.
no
changeling.
flash, no unsummoning.
Yep.
Right, and that card was plenty.
It was playable. Yeah.
Yeah, it was plenty playable, but definitely an upgrade here. Also, I'll give credit to the art team of, hey, there's wings in the art, so the creature has flying. I know they're all walking along the ground, but flying is definitely a huge part of it. But yeah, I think when I draw Flock Imposter, I'll smile every time just because it's like looking at you like
The art's great.
it's a bird.
Let's check out some more great Changeling art with our next card, Chomping Changeling. It's a 2 and a green for a Changeling shapeshifter. Could be an elf, could be an elk. When this creature enters, destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment. There are a few artifacts and enchantments running around standard these days, but Changeling here.
Yeah, another changeling, definitely more of a workhorse. You'll definitely get some good value, right? Whether it's from the changeling aspect, or we're going to look at some pretty powerful artifacts and coming up. So there's always plenty of good targets.
We'll take all the Reclamation Sages we can get.
Yeah. Well, and here too, you can really see how the team really went and updated just the look of changelings, right? Like Flock Imposter, Chomping Changeling, right? There is more, I'll say, of the cute vibe, the fun vibe. Before, I think changelings were trying to be very unique, and so we've just adjusted that look and feel into a really great place, because all of them are just more fun, more adorable. I really love the overhaul we've done there.
Well, another small design thing I love on cards like this is a 1/2. We're very familiar with like Reclamation Sage being a 2/1, but in a set with Blight,
right? You want the extra toughness, right? So that you can blight it once and it'll stick around for sure. We just saw a good combo of, you can Chomping Changeling, Flock Imposter, get some good value there.
Yep.
Right? there is value to be had all over the place nowadays.
All right. Sticking with the typal theme, we have a pretty cool Chronicle of Victory. You get to choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +2/+2, have first strike and trample. That'll win a few games. And then whenever you cast a spell of the chosen type, draw a card. Mike, this is kind of in line with a number of these sorts of 5, 6 mana splashy, like choose a creature type, and then you get really rewarded for sticking to that creature type.
Yeah, right. The coat of arms style effects. Yeah. Chronicle of Victory. And one thing that's great about this is, because it's 6 mana, it's expensive, right? Now, I mean, for Commander, you can probably that's not typically as big of a deal, but here at 6 mana, it's nice that it gives you that immediate effect.
It's almost like an overrun.
Yeah, it's an overrun, right? Yeah. First strike, +2/+2, first strike and trample, basically exactly what a horde of goblins wants, or whatever creature type you're going after there, and it also has an ongoing effect, right? If that's not enough to just win you the game on the spot, which often you want from a 6 mana card, the fact that it has this ongoing effect means that if you in Commander, or if you do happen to stall out in Limited, it gives you something to keep going, right? Yeah. I mean, the Elf deck that was so famous basically cast a card to get this effect going, right? Here, you're just getting it built in. Of course, that was a 1 mana card. This is 6 mana, but
it's the same effect. It's 1 mana stapled onto Overrun. Like it maths.
Yeah. You definitely There's a reason there's the word victory in the title.
Yep. I do want to pause for one and also talk about the Fable frame.
Oh, yeah. The Fable frame, as I mentioned, we showed off some of these in the debut video, and the narrator talked about how, this is really trying to capture this idea of, hey, what does it mean to be in this storybook, idyllic world, right? And at the same time, for those set in Shadowmoor, I love that the Fable frame also really works with that too, right? So no matter if you're on the day side or the night side, the Fable frame really just I say brings a lot of aesthetic resonance to Lorwyn Eclipsed. So really happy with that turned out. And I believe in total, I think it's about 50 cards in the set. I might be off by 1 or 2, but it's right around 50 cards in the set have the Fable frame.
Okay. Yeah, and if you're interested in where the different treatments are all found, the Collecting Lorwyn Eclipsed article will be up at the end of this stream. I also I love the art on the left. You can see the Phyrexian symbols, and he's clearly fighting, it looks like a worm coil engine or something in that vein.
Yeah. Right, it has that tapestry slash this was chiseled onto the stones in a cave feeling, but yeah, there's definitely that storytelling piece. That's a nice, really great call out.
All right, let's move on to a mechanic that is new but not new. It's newly named Vivid, but it's something we've seen before. Let's pause on this Giant Druid. For 7 mana, you get a 7/7 Trampler. That when it enters, you get to reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X permanent cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. So almost all the time, it's going to be at least 1. And then you get to put those permanent cards onto the battlefield and the rest on the bottom of your library. So let's talk about renaming Vivid. We've seen this ability, Bloom Tender is an actual reprint with this card.
Yeah. Bloom Tender is the same exact card. We've just added Vivid, to call out that, hey, this is in line with that. As I mentioned, sort of when we got talking, it's like, hey, we went back and let's take a look at what Lorwyn was about, right? Let's take a look at what Shadowmoor is about. So, of course, we've been talking. This is a giant creature type matters. We've, the first card we showed off, -1/-1 counters.
Yeah.
Another theme that was really present. Now it wasn't vivid, right? But color matters was an eventide theme. There was like a cycle of auras.
Chroma there
was chroma, and there's been and so But once again, design has moved forward in something, and we've done like, count mana symbols,
Yeah.
right? Gray Merchant. Here, it was just a very straightforward, hey, let's take a look at how many colors of permanence you have, and then that calls back to it. It works very well because all of these things are, I'll say, on board, right? You're just, I'm bringing out creatures. Okay, so you're going to have a green creature and a white creature. And so it just naturally works. But then you can also, once again, build around it, power it up.
Yeah.
And yes, we didn't do artifacts with Vivid, colorless artifacts with Vivid.
Yeah.
That is, that seems cruel and
Takes a
unusual.
little bit more work.
Yeah,
on that.
right.
Yeah.
But so you'll start out at one very typically, and likely have a few.
Yeah. I also love the art differences here. You've got the Paulo Parente art, which is just savage and badass and amazing, and then you've got the really trippy Matthew Forsythe. I'm assuming no relation to Aaron.
As far as I know, no relation to Aaron. Yeah.
But I just love that you can have both of those in the set. They both feel at home, and players can kind of pick which one they want.
Yeah. I think that's one thing that's amazing. And really, I mean, I know we've been showing off the dual lands, right? The shock lands. That's one reason we went with the double-sided versions of those. So once again, if you're like, hey, you want that Lorwyn more feeling vibe of day, you have it. The Shadowmoor feeling vibe as well. And we did that with a number of lands in this.
Yeah.
I mean, not the double-sided piece, but just giving you that option of, hey, if you're building a deck and you want to be more bright and sunny or a little darker, you have options.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to our last mechanical card. So we aren't going to cover, we'll get to them in pieces here. We're not going to talk about Behold, Evoke. Both of those are returning mechanics that were in the debut video. But I want to show off our last Vivid card because this falls somewhere on the Muldrifter alignment chart. It's an elemental.
Yeah.
It draws cards. But pretty cool use of Vivid here.
Yeah, really great use of Vivid. One thing that we showed off, I think, very briefly were some of the commander cards, right? And so I know that the commander deck really has ways to cheat elementals into play. So yes, it's 6 mana here, but if you can find a way to
the face commander lets you evoke this for 4, and then when it dies, you get another copy of it.
Yeah, exactly, right. In the commander, right, like all of a sudden you're just going to have a ton of colors of cards out. So so you can be drawing a lot of cards, and then I mean, really, if you get to 6 mana in limited,
I'm paying 6 mana for this.
you're gonna pay, right, because look, you get at least 1 card from it, and once again, you're likely to get 2 or 3. That is, and you get a 3/3 flyer out of it. So you're gonna pay a little bit of mana, but hopefully, much like the art there, you have a nice rainbow of creatures out, right? Because it'll be a good feeling when you just like scoop 5 cards, right? Casting it. That game is probably going pretty well.
Well, and it is worth noting, we haven't shown it up here, hybrid mana is returning too, which means you can have, even if you just have islands in play, there are ways to have multiple colors among your permanents. So
right. And just like we showed off the red-black goblin token, right? The tokens being multicolored, a lot of them
is going to help.
Right. Once again, that also helps. Right. So
it reminds me, I have to do a Muldrifter alignment chart. This is definitely somewhere on there.
It's all of Lorwyn Eclipsed just reframed.
Just reframed as what kind of Muldrifter is
What
this?
kind of Muldrifter are you? Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, now we're going to take a trip through Lorwyn, and we're just going to show some cool cards that are Lorwyn aligned in some form or fashion, whether through art or flavor text or because we said so. We're going to start off with Mirror Form. This is a 6 mana instant, so again, a bit hefty, but each non-land permanent you control becomes a copy of target non-aura permanent.
Yeah, so first call out here is this can do some pretty absurd things.
Yeah.
Right. You can if you have something that's giving everything a boost, all of a sudden
you're
You're just like, yep, all of my tokens become that. All of my all of my enchantments, not the auras, become that. Now,
Treasures, food,
yeah, exactly.
like just random tokens you have lying around.
Yeah. You can do, and like all of a sudden, I'll just say muscle sliver, right? I mean, there's any lord basically. Importantly, you don't choose a legend. That is,
Don't do that.
don't.
It's not going to go well.
Yeah,
unless you have a mirror gallery in play.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but
Then you're off on a different journey.
Well, but it doesn't even, unless you're choosing that mirror gallery.
Yeah.
The mirror gallery is just becoming this too, so it doesn't even.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
there's no. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Don't
do
go down that path either. Yeah, so just a friendly warning there.
Yeah.
The first time on Arena where you're like, ooh, and then all of a sudden, like all of your stuff just disappears instantly. You're like
what happened?
What have I done?
Yeah.
But you choose good targets like Muscle Sliver and so many more, and all of a sudden they're just like all are just gigantic creatures.
As Chad is pointing out too, now we've seen things like this before, like Mirror Weave, and but this is an instant. It is not until end of turn.
Yeah, this is just this is ongoing.
This is something else.
Yeah. So it is ongoing, and so really powerful because and once again, you are paying a good amount of mana for this, and so the effect is pretty amazing. And also, I mean, once again, since we're talking about art, the Fable art there, it's just to be, I don't know, once again, delightful. I really enjoy that, and I think the one in the mirror is like how you will look when you cast this successfully.
I did that. Yes.
Right. It's just that is a great look.
All right. Next, let's move on to another mirror card that works a little bit different. Mirror Mind Crown with that excellent Dan Frazier art. As long as this equipment is attached to a creature, the first time you would create one or more tokens each turn, you may instead create that many tokens that are copies of the equipped creatures. Just copies on copies on copies.
Just copy, and there's, and I'm sure if you're playing this, you have a doubling season in play while you're at it, so you can get even more, even more copies. Once again, super open-ended, super fun. You get to go through your library of being, take a look at all of Magic creatures, and be like, you know what, which ones do I want to just be making?
All of this. Mulldrifter.
Right? Yeah, Mulldrifter,
Equip
right?
this to a Mulldrifter.
Yeah.
Make some tokens. They all draw you 2 cards.
Yeah, they all make you 2 cards. Oh, I'm going to make something that copies artifacts.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and it copies an artifact, and now I equip it, and next thing you know, your screen on Magic Arena is like super tiny, and you're like, I can't even. Where can I find my stuff?
Someone
I have
evil
so
in
many.
chat is
so many
mentioning
copies.
Academy manufacturer.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Exactly.
Dear
right.
God.
Yeah. It's just it really gets out of control so quickly.
Yeah.
But that's what makes Magic fun.
Scoot Swarm.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You can go to
Get out your calculator to figure out what is happening.
Yeah. Hopefully, whoever you're playing Magic with is a good sport and just lets you go to town and have fun as you're overwhelming the board with copies of copies of copies.
Yep. I also want to point out the flavor text. The flavor on this is great. Forged in Velasvel, which is famous for its copying. Swiped by a clever marrow, sold to a curious Kithkin. It's great. All right. Next up, we have this is sort of a callback. Giants are white-red. They were white-red in the original Lorwyn. We had Brian Stoutarm, and here we have Bree of Clan Stoutarm. 4 mana for Giant Warrior. Can give another target creature you control flying and lifelink till end of turn. Her cousin, I don't know what the relation was, but he just threw people.
Yeah, Bree treats you a lot better.
A lot nicer.
A lot better. You're not getting sacrificed and tossed. Instead, you get flying and lifelink. So you get tossed in a better way, I suppose.
Yeah, and when you get tossed at the I'm gonna stop saying that. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, exile cards from the top of your library until exile a non-land card. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost if the spell's mana value is less than or equal to the amount of life you gain this turn. otherwise put it into your hand. That seems pretty strong in a life gain focused deck.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I think the life gain focused decks always want, and all Magic decks do, is you want card advantage, right? And one thing that I think life gain decks are susceptible to is, oh, you're like, hey, I'm at 120 life, but actually I'm out of cards, and so here the fact that Bree is both helping you gain life and refilling your cards. And even if you're not casting it for free, you're still getting the card into your hand.
Yeah.
So there's goodness either way there. Doing a lot of powerful, and let's not discount a 4-mana 4/4.
Yeah.
That's just a good body.
And that can give a creature flying and lifelink. Those, I mean, this is going to turn a lot of limited games around.
Yeah. And I will say that the sheep in the basket there I don't believe they're the same sheep that we saw in the Jim Henson trailer, but there's some similarities. Yeah.
All right, let's. We've done a few rares in a row. Let's take a look at a common that you're going to be seeing playing a lot of, Moon Glove Extractor. We got that Elf Warlock and an attack trigger here, Mike.
Yeah, really straightforward, powerful card. We've been seeing so many 2 toughness creatures. Here, only 1 toughness, so definitely going to be tougher to keep alive through multiple attacks.
Yeah.
But even if you just get off 1 attack and do a trade, you're up a card, down a life, and that's a fine place to be.
Well, and I look at this card much like, blue gets a number of, I'm old, and you probably get this reference to, Ophidian-style cards, where you attack, and if you get through, you draw a card. If you deal damage, whatever. This one gets it on just the attack.
Yeah, just on the attack, right? And I think there'll be a lot of times where you'll be able to take advantage of that, and just add it into attack, knowing your opponent won't know, but you'll know that you're just basically sacrificing it to replace it. But they still are going to have to evaluate how they block, and maybe it's going to get another creature through. I mean, if you get a second attack off, like the first attack.
Attack, whatever.
You're right. If you get a second attack off with the Moonglove Extractor, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
It's the kind of card that's a common that could sit there and not do a ton, or just replace itself, or it could just kind of run away with the game. Yeah. If it's feeding you ways to keep getting it through.
Yeah. I mean, drawing cards repeatable is incredibly powerful. So absolutely, it's an immediate threat that your opponent is going to need to have a response to.
No, I love this card. I'll be drafting a lot of it. Let's move back to a giant. Why not? Let's take a look at another cool card, Goliath Daydreamer. So another 4-mana 4/4 giant wizard. Love, again, both the different art styles here. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, you can exile that card with a dream counter on it instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. So it feels very like suspendy sort of thing. But whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among cards you own in exile with dream counters on them without paying its mana cost. Really cool effect here, Mike.
Yeah, it's a really cool effect, and the big key here is you have to cast that spell, the instant or sorcery, the first time.
Yeah.
Right? You have to get out the Goliath Daydreamer, cast that instant or sorcery for the first time, and then if it's a card that's boosting your creature, right? I of course like a Reckless Assault, right? If you have 5 mana, I mean, not that Reckless Assault's in the set, but just giving you an example of all of a sudden you get to double up on that effect.
Yep.
And that's a 10 power attack coming at you, or I mean, in Commander you want to cast a Relentless Assault.
Yeah.
Right. You cast it. If you come back to your turn, cast Relentless Assault.
More relentless
assaults, more attacks, more triggers, and so that actually can really go and be quite absurd. So yeah, I mean, to me it's a quintessential red card in that, hey, it's a giant, it's a big creature, it lets you do all sorts of fun, chaotic things, and I think just you can have a big laugh. And I mean, there's a reason it's called Daydreamer, right? I mean, once
Oh,
again,
the things you can dream of, yeah.
right. Not that I'm reading chat right now, but I'm sure chat is giving us some.
Well, chat's mostly talking about extra turns with this card.
Yeah, well,
Time
sure,
warps.
yeah, right, of course. I mean, why do fair things like only an extra combat?
Cast this turn 4, turn 5, cast Time Warp, attack, cast Time Warp again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Next thing you know, you're casting Time Stretch.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
You're like, look at this. Yeah. And once again, I hope chat all has really fun
And
sporting
that's when
opponents.
and see, the art is appropriate because that's when your opponent falls asleep with a book on their chest. They're like, wake me when you're done.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Or they start shuffling up for the next game as it goes.
All right. Now we're going to move into a little bit of an odd, I was going to say odd duck, but it is a bird of sorts. So Abigail, Eloquent First Year, an odd owl maybe. What's odd about this card is that this is actually a Strixhaven student.
Yeah, so we have, one thing that's going on in Lorwyn Eclipsed is there are a few Strixhaven students that are sort of, I'll say, visiting, peeking in.
Yeah.
And so Abigail's among them, right? And so that is kind of this, when you're in school, you go on field trips, and they're kind of, they're sort of the same element going on. And here, Abigail is doing a lot, a really unique design in a lot of ways, right?
Really unique.
Yeah, like flying first strike lifelink is not something you typically see. I mean, except for like Baneslayer Angel style. But on a 1/1 though, that's part of what makes it unique.
Yep.
And then you are turning either one of your own creatures
Into a Baneslayer,
or one of your opponent's creatures. You're maybe removing, some good abilities that they have, right? And so it just.
I mean, you do this to Llanowar Elf. Llanowar Elf, I mean, that's great. It's now a 1/1 flying life stream, but it's not what it's there for.
Yeah, it's not what it's there for.
Yeah.
And so once again, it's doing an awful lot.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see how people use it. You mentioned hybrid.
Yep.
So this is showing off hybrid here. So yeah, we will see how people use it. Definitely, there's the very straightforward: cast it, put some good auras on it, and you have quite a beater.
Yeah. I'll also throw out there. So if you're interested in what Strixhaven students are doing on Lorwyn, you can head to mtgstory.com, and the entire Lorwyn story is available to read now. It went up in December, so if you haven't checked it out yet, really great story and ready to read right now.
Yeah, read. I think we do a podcast and videos.
Yep, there's a podcast available as well for recap, so check all of that out. All right, next let's move on to a card that we saw in the debut video but didn't spend a ton of time with and is worth spending time with. Let's take a look at the cleverly titled Meek Attack. 2 in a red for an enchantment. And then 1 in a red, you may put a creature card with total power and toughness 5 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste. At the beginning of your next end step, sacrifice that creature. Okay, so besides the clever name here, Mike, what are you seeing with this card?
Yeah, so right. I mean, there's of course the obvious reference to sneak attack. I've seen a lot of speculation. I know now we've revealed it. The speculation here it is. It's Meek Attack. And we have it in the Japan Showcase treatments as well. So a lot of fun different variants. One thing that we've seen a lot of with Lorwyn Eclipsed, and I'm just excited about in general, is the open-endedness.
Yeah.
Right. So many of these cards have been, hey, once again, go through your Magic collection, find it. To me, when I think of Meek Attack, I think back to like Revelark. Right?
Yep.
If you're just like, okay.
What goes with this?
Yeah, what goes with this? And here, because it's that, because it's that mixture of power and toughness 5 or less, right? You can just be doing math and, okay, what 05 do I have that, what Door in the Siege Tower, right? Or 1/4s or 4/1s.
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend 5/0s.
Probably not. I mean, maybe. But, well, I mean, you know,
Not that it exists right now.
yeah, and you know, the thing with sneak attack is always getting high casting cost creatures here. So you're also looking like what has a low power and toughness but a high casting cost because it does something.
Yeah.
Not to use scornful egotist, but you know, it's something like that that is very small but high casting cost because it does something stupid.
Yeah.
And so, is Agent of Treachery
Yeah,
for
right.
example?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. There's lots of ones. And once again, I mean, we were talking about blink effects or unsummon effects.
Yep.
Right. Always. There's just really good ways to reuse it. It's another card that, like, as you're just going through. I mean, and finding ways to take advantage of this. And of course, it gets haste, so you can get in that attack or use the tap ability right away.
Or Muldrifter.
Yeah, Muldrifter. Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep bringing it up. All right. This next song this next card, Morn Song Aria, is a super cool callback because Marilyn the Morn Song had a similar ability to this.
Yeah. Very very similar. She's called out there in the flavor text. When you're playing Morning Song Area, you're playing it with a plan, right? Because the fact that, hey, they're going to be every turn, because the card's symmetrical, right?
Yeah.
And so it's symmetrical in a number of ways. No drawing of cards, no gaining of life.
Yep.
And then, of course, the huge thing, losing 3 life a turn, essentially. But
you get any card.
But you get any card.
Yeah.
Right? Marlins, once again, I mean, not when I was working on Morning Tide and we made it, Commander wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
But now she's a very popular card in Commander because, I mean, if you're playing, I'll say, more competitive Commander, you're going to go and tutor for a card that's likely winning you the game.
Chat's already about opposition agent and stranglehold.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, the big thing here is I would not just randomly cast this card.
Yeah.
I would not just be like, well, let's
find out what happens.
What do I have in my deck? I've always been curious. What do I want to draw? No, when you're casting this, I'd encourage you to have a plan. And also, you're going to want a way to defend it, right? Because your opponent typically will get the first tutor.
Yep.
Right. That means that they're going to have their first chance to sort of stop you or pull off their own combo. So and great. The Scott Fisher art here is just tremendous.
So good.
Yeah, I really love that. During the debut, I really loved. We went and saw behind the scenes the artist, and we worked with the artist.
Yep.
They took sort of time lapse of their work.
Yep.
And so that's with the physical art that's been done, the traditional art, it's just been really great to see these artists bring Lorwyn Eclipsed to life in this stunning way.
All right, let's move on and transition from Lorwyn to Shadowmoor by looking at the basic lands. So we have some really cool basic lands here. So these are sort of the quote-unquote normal lands.
Yeah, one thing to call out, once again, if you are reading the story, a big thing that's happening here in Lorwyn Eclipsed is Lorwyn and Shadowmoor are coming together, right? That's the whole idea, where Lorwyn is the plane of day, Shadowmoor of night, right? We saw our fantastic singers really highlight the differences there, but they come together in what's called these dusk zones. And this plains art here, and all of the arts, but the plains, I think, really does a good job of showing off what the dusk zone looks like in that feel. You can kind of get that in the mountain too, where it's kind of the dusk zone, shimmer, and that, and so day and night are merging together, and the residents of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor are sort of coming to grips with what's going on. So the basic lands really do a great job of highlighting that.
And we have full art basic lands as well, whether you love Lorwyn
Yeah, and so here, right, the regular basics are showing those dust zones. For the full art basics, we were like, hey, let's highlight Lorwyn and then let's highlight Shadowmoor. So here we're looking at Lorwyn and sort of more pastoral, idyllic, and then we also get to see the same lands,
Shadowmoor,
but with the Shadowmoor version, right? You can see there these are sort of not. If you set them side by side, you can see.
We can do that. We have the next slide.
Yeah, there you go. We've set them top and bottom, I suppose.
Yep.
Right, but you can really see here the distinction of, hey, what does this land look like more with the light setting and then more with the darker setting? I think the mountain really just does a great job of highlighting.
Yeah,
that.
it does.
I mean, and all of these are just so beautiful and fun, and I look forward to playing with them.
You can pick. Are you going to go to Lorwyn? You're going to go to Shadowmoor? A little bit of a mix.
Right, yeah. Are you chaotic going to both? Right, just, yeah.
All right, we still got a few more preview cards to show off, as well as all of the special guests. So we're going to keep marching on in our journey. This next card is one of the more interesting cards in the set to me, because we don't do these sort of affects all players cards as much anymore. Here we've got Lava Leaper. All creatures have haste. Not all creatures you control.
Yeah.
All creatures have haste. And then it's got that Mana Flare ability. Again, any player taps a basic land for mana, they're going to get rewarded.
Yeah, and we have, once again, just hysterical and fantastic
Amazing art.
Yeah, so super amazing art. I think both arts really illustrate the chaos that will ensue when you cast Lava Leaper, right? Because, right, all creatures have haste. Everyone gets, double mana. It's go time when Lava Leaper's here. And once again, another 4-mana 4/4, so you definitely get some good value right up front. I think the big trick here with Lava Leaper and making this work is finding a way to, because it's symmetrical, right? How do you, when you cast it, break that symmetry just right away so you're the first one taking advantage of it, right? Also, too, I mean, if you are playing, Commander, you can be more, I'll say, political about it, right? Like making sure you have some good strategic alliances while you're doing it. In constructed, a 4-mana 4/4 haste is pretty good. Hopefully, you just have some ways to take advantage of that big mana because, I mean, it's like I said, it's go time when you get Lava Leaper.
Well, and I think one of the interesting and key things here is whenever a player taps a basic land for mana. So if you're mono red, you can load up on basic lands. Or if you're even red-green or something like that, maybe you're very basic land focused, and you're searching for basic lands. Well, everybody else is maximizing their mana base, not playing very many basic lands.
Yeah, sir. Once again, in limited, it's probably going to be hard to take advantage of that.
Yes.
Right, but in constructed, for sure, you can break that symmetry in all sorts of ways. I mean, you mentioned mono red being the very it's like I just play mountains.
I just play mountains.
Yeah.
And now I have all the mana, and you have the same amount of mana.
Yeah. So much mana. So maybe then you can cast Blood Moon, and it doesn't. Yeah.
All right. Now we've got a returning card that is a fan favorite. Goat Nap.
Oh yes, right. The whole. It's so funny to me that it's like, in Lorwyn, it's like creature type matters, and we have this and that. And then it's like, it's Goat Napper.
Goat Napper.
Right? You're just like, all of a sudden. And we also saw it with Cowards. I know there was a Coward call out earlier. Just these like one-off, adorable references, of course, playing into shapeshifters. Right, and it's like, the shapeshifters are going to be goats. I mean, much like they ruin trivia questions, shapeshifters, changelings, they really do enhance cards like Goat Nap, and you can really make your opponent pay if you are taking goat. One thing too is, I mean, if you need, you can also do it to your own creature in a pinch. It's going to be a little bit more rare, but there's a chance that you'll want to do that. And this is just a classic effect.
Yep. I also love the callback in the flavor text. Jealous of his sister's Cloud Goat. Cloud Goat Ranger was
Yeah.
I died to that card a lot back in the day.
Yeah, well, there's a reason. The card did a lot. And a little bit of a power boost there as too. But apparently this is the next best thing to having your own Cloud Goat Ranger.
A returning card that I've also died to a lot, Blossoming Defense.
I like how we've moved from the Muldrifter section of the show
To the
things
cards that have killed Blake.
Cards that have killed, yeah. So a really straightforward, what 1 mana effect here. Creature you control gets +2/+2 in hexproof until end of turn. So it once again, it's just doing a lot, giving hexproof, incredibly powerful and useful.
Yeah.
+2/+2. Sometimes you're going to actually get to take advantage of both.
Yep.
Really blow out your opponent. So a really good card, really straightforward, and important too. I mean, hexproof protecting your creatures, right? In a set where creature type matters,
Right.
that is going to be a big deal.
Yep. All right, and our final main set preview card. We're going to move into special guests after this, but our final main set card is another Strixhaven student, Sonar Innovative First Year. It's got Vivid, and at the beginning of your first main phase, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Sonar themselves has 2. For each of those colors, you may exile a card of that color from among the revealed cards, then shuffle it. You may cast the exile cards this turn.
Yeah, so you do have to pay for the cards.
You do have to pay, yes.
You have to pay for the cards, but it can get you an awful lot of cards, right? Right, because both Vivid's helping you reveal cards, and for each of those colors, you may exile a card. So
this card alone gets you a blue and a red card.
yeah, it gets you a blue and a red card, and is a great start. You can see here once again the hybrid aspect, that first year cycle coming into play. And so we just wanted some cards to sort of once again, of course we're excited about Lorwyn Eclipsed. Having a bridge to Secrets of Strixhaven is something we were excited about as well. And so yeah, Sonar I think will do a lot, and really good card advantage, really a great reward for Vivid. And like you said, I mean, starting off with 2, like you're in a good spot. Yeah. Of note, it's at the beginning of your first main phase, so you do have to wait.
You do have to wait a turn.
You'll have to wait a turn
but after that,
for this effect.
It'll be flowing.
Yeah.
All right. With our last bit of time, we are going to reveal all of the special guests, and this is one of my favorite sets of special guests that we've done for a while, because it's so evocative of Lorwyn. Some of these cards are from the original block, some are not, but they just all feel at home, Mike.
Yeah, it's great to see. One thing we did, typically we do 10 special guests in a set. Here we've done 20. We do 10 from Lorwyn and 10 from Shadowmoor, meaning themed. Like when you look at the art, you'll be like, oh, this is Lorwyn themed. And like you said, they do feel at home. A lot of that is because we went and took a look at Lorwyn and Shadowmoor cards first.
Yeah.
There are a few cards from outside of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, but also those ones, we chose them to fit, to feel like they fit right in.
They feel like they could, some of these I had to do a double take. I was like, was that in original Lorwyn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're really great. And then also the artist he did like this, when we look at the art, it's this hand-cut paper art style that they did, and so
let's put the first 3 up there.
Yeah, and so you can really see how this art style just is so evocative, right? So Door of Destinies, this is a card once again talking about cards that were both creature type matters and special to me, a special card to me personally, right? Because just being in the original Lorwyn block.
Yep.
And so that was sort of, to me, it's funny because I was making cards that I was like, oh, I love Coat of Arms. Okay, what is it? What does a new Coat of Arms type card look like? Where Goblin Chieftain here, right? That's a card that I believe was it Onslaught? Or was that
it was Scourge.
Scourge. Yes. Although I think this is the other, right? I think the Scourge one gave a mana.
Oh no, that one. Yeah, you're right. No, this one is.
That was Goblin War
later on. Yeah.
In any case, right? You can see here, it's like, oh, this looks like a card that would be done in Lorwyn, but was not. Idyllic Tutor, once again, another card I made in sort of this, hey, we want to make cards that are super cool and super evocative and just open-ended, and so really straightforward.
Well, and with Idyllic Tutor, this setting is often described as idyllic. Lorwyn is idyllic. You might as well use the word.
Yeah, and apparently Morningtide even makes the flavor text. So
exactly. All right, our next set of 3, we're sticking with the Lorwyn vibe here. We've got Kinsbale Cavalier, which is from the original block, Leafcrown Visionary, and Mistbind Click.
Yeah, Mistbind Click, talking about Champion, talking about a card that did so much.
Well, again, I died to this card a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and also, too, I mean, not only do you die to it, you're like, I've got plans. Okay, I know how I'm going to beat fairies.
Yeah.
And then you just end up being Mistbind Clicked, and you're like, oh, they're going to die to their own Bitter Blossom. It's like, no, actually, their Bitter Blossom, they're keeping their fairies, but now they have the champion of the fairies, and you're being tapped out.
Yeah, Mike and I have some scars from that time.
Yeah, right. Well, and so, I mean, that's, I think that's fun. The command cycle is another Lorwyn classic. So there's a lot of cards that we went back and did. And then Kinsbale Cavalier, once again, with Morningtide, actually, it wasn't just creature types that matters. We did there was race and class. And so we were like, hey, how do we make class matter, right? Where like the jobs, as it were. So knights were a little call to that. And so, of course, once again, great card with changelings. And because even though special guests don't become legal in standard, right? They do impact limited. Like on the off chance that you open up a special guest in your pre-release kit, you can play it, and all of a sudden
can be found in play boosters. So
they're found. Yeah, the non-foils found in play boosters, and so you can go and have a great time and look and find. Besides the changelings, do you have any other knights? Right, so a lot of sweet cards.
All right, let's take another look at the next set of 3, including one of my favorite cards, Risen Reef. I put that card in so many decks.
Right, well, and this is another card, right? That if you look at this card, you'd be like, oh, it's about
like it does.
It looks like it's an elemental card. I think it was a core set card originally. And but right, once again, it's like, hey, it's an elemental. You basically get some good card advantage out of it. Exactly what blue-green wants. So really great. 1,000-Year Elixir, just a really fun card.
So much you can do with that card.
Yeah, so much. Right. I mean, once again, so many fun open-ended cards. And I think it's one of the reason that people love creature type matters is sets like Lorwyn Eclipsed give you so many good opportunities for just shenanigans.
Yeah. I love that flavor text too. Was it 1,000 years old, or would it make you live for 1,000 years? The Bogart didn't ask.
Yeah.
I actually never thought of that before, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's much like the Bogart, you didn't ask either.
I didn't ask either.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our next set of 3. Now we've got Devoted Druid, Combo Enabler, Dolmen Gate, and Fairy Macabre.
Yeah, Devoted Druid, clearly been the staple of many powerful combo decks. It fits right in with that -1/-1 counter theme. Gives you mana. Of course, we've already seen ways to remove counters in the set, so it can really do a lot. And once again, getting this for collecting is amazing, but it's definitely a card that can sort of change how a game of Limited goes if you happen to open it up.
Yep.
And Fairy Macabre, same thing, right? Exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. That's free. So anytime something's free in Magic, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, people are already pointing out that in Timeless on Arena is pretty important.
Yeah, right, because it's another, right, that is a good call out that, with Lorwyn Eclipsed, just all of the Magic Arena formats get some new tools, and we're just introducing some great cards there too, so.
All right, nearly done. We've got 6 cards left. Let's take a look at Shimmer, Helix Pinnacle, and Manamorphose.
That Manamorphose art,
it's so good.
so good, right? I mean, it's once again a super powerful effect for anyone who's big into playing any sort of combo deck, any sort of storm deck. It gives you some good filtering and is essentially free to cast. But now you're doing it in style, and I think that Manamorphose just really shows off this art style and how cool and how powerful it can be. And then Helix Pinnacle, I mean, talk about winning in style, right? You are one of many, many win the game cards. You only need 100 tower counters.
You can do it.
You're basically there, right? Basically, Devoted Druid, you get a couple.
Couple there. I mean, with there's ways to move some counters around in places. I don't know.
I've never done it. I've never
done it.
I've never done it with Helix Pinnacle.
It's on the bucket list, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah. I'm typically about 97 counters away.
All right, and the final 3 cards, we've of course got that Painter's Servant that we saw in the debut video, Regal Force, drawing all the cards, and the Slipperiest of Bogles. Welcome back.
Yeah, I mean, Painter's Servant, we're talking about a card that's just been, once again, another staple combo card if you want to, win with a Grindstone. Because it's not just cards on the battlefield. It's cards everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's wild.
It's everywhere.
This card does.
And so and it also interacts in a fun way with Vivid here because you can just it's +1 color. So it's doing a lot. I love the art. Once again, it's just sort of, I'll say, collecting the different colors as it goes along. Now Regal Force, of course, that once again a really powerful top end.
Yep.
Really powerful top end card. And who doesn't love Boggles? They are.
Lots of people don't love Boggles.
Well, I mean,
another card I've died to a lot.
Sure, you die to it a lot, but just like. Sorry.
But that art is.
When you die to it, besides the fact that you've lost, setting that aside,
like
it's an adorable way to lose.
It is an adorable way to lose. Bogle has a little fish.
Yeah, and another little call out to the Phyrexians there for you as well.
Yeah, the flavor text is good.
Yeah.
All right, those are our special guests. That is our show. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank Mike Turin and our guests. The video with all the singing. Yeah, these are the real puppets.
Yeah,
they're amazing. I know what I'm doing the rest of the day, playing with puppets.
Yeah.
But you can check out the debut video on our YouTube channel and other social media type places that we are. Couple dates coming up before we go. So this week, this is going to be a 1-week preview cycle because we've been on holiday. We've been out of the office and we're back. So the full card image gallery is going to be up this Friday, coming up 4 days from now. Pre-releases start January 16th, based on some of your reactions to what you've seen so far. I'd check with your local game store soon and make sure you can get a slot at the pre-release. And then it is coming to Magic the Gathering Arena on the 20th of January, followed by the global release, so everywhere, all the time, January 23rd. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.